Vayehi bimei Achashverosh, Achashverosh. Vayehi bimei Achashverosh, Achashverosh. Hello, everyone. It's a special weekend. We are getting ready for Shabbos, the day before Purim. Saturday night is already Purim. We hear the Megillah, we start the festivities, and then Sunday all day. But before we get to Purim, this Shabbos is Shabbos Parshat Zachor. Besides being Parshat Vayikra, where we begin the new book of Leviticus, we also take out a second Torah, where we read about the biblical obligation to never forget Amalek, who wants to annihilate the Jewish people. The question is, obviously, if someone wants to annihilate you, why would you forget it? Of course you don't forget it. So why is there a biblical commandment never to forget it? There's many interpretations and commentaries on this. But I may think that sometimes we know our enemies who say they want to kill us, but we forget about those enemies who say, oh, we love you, we care for you, but all those people who say, we don't hate the Jews, we're just anti-Israel. We don't hate Israel even, we're just against what they're doing in Gaza. The moment the Jewish people begin to stand up and defend themselves, to be able to protect themselves, all these people come and what we would call Mitzaydin Henshikis. They dress themselves in silk saying, we don't hate you. Tells us the Torah, Zachor asher asa lecha Amalek. Amalek could come in many forms. Amalek could come and tell you they want to kill you, or Amalek could say, we're not anti-Semitic, yet they could be the greatest anti-Semites. Sometimes it could be worse. They could be Jewish. And they tell you, we're Jewish. But the moment we say, we're Jewish, you know what's coming afterwards. Those are the people we need to be careful of and remember. And that's what we remind us of the Shabbos before we come to Purim. Purim is on Sunday. We celebrate and remind ourselves. Esther asked the rabbis, please, kisvuni l'doires, write me for generations. What is Esther? She wanted everyone to remember that she was a hero? No. What Esther wanted is that every single Jew living sometimes in the darkest of times should remember that Esther and Mordechai lived in a time when Haman and Achashverosh openly wanted to annihilate the Jewish people. Yet, what happened? They were victorious. It gives us hope. It gives us courage for today. You know, one of the obligations on Purim is to say enough l'chaim, to drink enough alcohol that you don't know the difference between blessed as Mordechai and cursed as Haman. And the question is, how could that be? Come on. Aren't we supposed to know the difference between good and bad? Aren't one of the biggest crises we have in today's society is they don't know and they don't differentiate between good and evil. So why would we say l'chaim until we don't know the difference between good and evil? Shouldn't we know the difference even after we say l'chaim? And one of the Chassidic masters, when the Rebbe speaks about this, the Rebbe, in one of his interpretations, brings from the Chassidic masters and the Kabbalah something so powerful. The Rebbe says that on Purim, we have to reach a certain level that we recognize that there is no difference between the cursed and the blessed that comes from the same place. What does that mean? Of course, we're pained when there's a challenge, when there's a struggle. But what do we see in the story of the Megillah? Everything that looked one way turned out another way. For example, when Haman is invited to the party that Esther makes for Achashverosh, he's so excited that, oh, look at me. But little does he know that that party, that Esther pulls off the mask and says, I am Jewish and he wants to kill me. And that's when Haman is gone with. Or when Mordechai, or when Haman, when Mordechai, when Achashverosh couldn't sleep at night and he calls for her to be read from his book. And they read the story of Mordechai, the way he saved the king. Mordechai could have wondered when he saved the king, look, no one told me anything, no one cared about me. Yet, in the right time, it was written in the Chronicle books, and on that day it turned out to be the greatest blessing. And then Haman comes to the king, and the king says, what should I do for someone that I want to honor? Haman says, it's for sure me. He thinks it's good. But what happens? At the end, he has to do it to Mordechai. Achashverosh wasn't talking about him. And then when he builds the gallows, and he thinks they're going to hang Mordechai, this will be the end of Mordechai and the Jewish people, what happens? At the end, it's Haman who gets hanged. So what's the point of the story of Purim? Purim reminds us that sometimes it's not like it seems, not like it looks. And we have to come to a level on Purim, such a high level. It's not easy, that we recognize that both the good and the bad come from God. And ultimately, what might look bad today will bring with it a blessing, a celebration. I think about this a lot because since October 7th, we've seen such bleakness, such darkness. But yet we hope and we pray and we're confident that that's not the end of the story. We will see a light and we will see a blessing. My friends, Purim is a time of tremendous joy. You say, Rabbi, but this year, how could we celebrate? How could we come to shul on Saturday night, on Sunday morning, on Sunday afternoon? We have so many events, you can find them all. But how could we come to shul? And you know what the answer is? Now we need it more than ever. Because true celebration is not when it's only light, but when sometimes it looks dark, you need to dig deep down and bring out the joy, and bring out the dancing shoes, and bring out the celebration. Because as the rabbis tell us, Simcha poidet together. Joy breaks every boundary. L'chaim, guys. May God bless each and every one of you with Shabbat Shalom. I know it's going to pour and rain tomorrow, but we read a biblical commandment to remember Amalek. So if you're able to, come to shul. And of course, tomorrow night, we read the Megillah. At 7:45 is Ma'ariv. 8 o'clock, we read the Megillah. Sunday morning, we have a huge breakfast and brunch after services, which begin at 9. Megillah reading at 9:30. And then we have a big festivities at 4:30 p.m., our Purim in Israel, where we celebrate and connect our brothers and sisters in Israel. So friends, Shabbat Shalom. God bless you all, and we look forward to hopefully seeing you over the holiday, and have an awesome Shabbos.